Dear peoples, good morning. How are you this morning? I hope you are fine. In last class, I equally promised you today we're going to look at the forms of water. Water you see takes many forms. What are those forms? It can exist in the form of a liquid, it can exist in the form of a gas, or it can exist in the form of solid. When we say water exists in the form of a liquid, like the water you see in front of you, the water you drink every day, the water you use to bathe, the water you use to cook food, that is liquid. And a solid form, that is ice. And these various forms of water, as you have seen, liquid, solid, and gas. Water can be converted from one form to another. For example, water can be changed from solid to liquid. And when water changes from solid to liquid, how do we call it? We call it melting. And what is melting? Melting is a process by which water changes from solid to gas. Now, another, from liquid to solid. That form is called freezing. And what is it? It is when water turns into a solid, when its temperature is lowered below the freezing point. The other, water can be converted from a liquid to a gas. And how do we call that? Evaporation. So evaporation is a process of turning water into vapor. That is what we call evaporation. Water can equally be converted from gas to liquid. From a gas to a liquid. And how do we call it? Condensation. It is water which collects as droplets on a cold surface when humid air is contact with it. That is just what we explained lately. We said, and equally the last, water can equally be converted from a solid to a gas. And when we say water is converted from a solid to a gas, how do we call that? Sublimation. That is sublimation. And what is sublimation? It's a transition of a substance directly into from the solid to the gas state without passing through the liquid state. Good. Those are the various ways forms by which water can be converted into. From solid to liquid, melting. From liquid to solid, freezing. From liquid to gas, evaporation. From gas to liquid, condensation. And from solid to gas, sublimation. That said, dear pupils, as usual, take out your exercise books and your pens and you do this exercise. Question 1. Water exists in 3 forms. State them. The second question, water can be converted from one form to another. State these forms and say how they are called. We're going to do the corrections. The first question, water exists in 3 forms. State them. We said in the liquid form, the solid form, and in the gaseous form. The second question, the first form, water can be converted from a solid to a liquid. Water can be converted from a solid to a liquid. How do we call it? Melting. Good. Another form, water can be converted from a liquid to a solid. How do we call it? Freezing. The third, water can be converted from a liquid to a gas, and we call it evaporation. And water can be converted from gas to liquid, and that is called condensation. And the last one, water can be converted from solid to gas, and we call that sublimation. Thank you for being attentive. See you next class. And in our next lesson, we're going to be talking about the various sources of water. You're going to see the various areas from which we can get water. Good. Goodbye and see you in the next lesson.